There's this hard rule in physics that every AV installer, I think, eventually hits.
Oh, yeah. The HDMI wall.
Exactly, the HDMI wall. You buy a standard cable and it works great at 6 feet.
Maybe 15 if you're lucky.
But once you try to push a high-def video signal past, say, 50 feet...
It falls apart. You get interference, the digital handshake fails, and then you see that dreaded black screen or just starkling pixels.
Right. And today we're looking at a solution that doesn't just try to boost a dying signal, it completely changes the medium.
It really does.
We're diving into the NTI ST-IPHD-POELC-V4. And while that model name is an absolute mouthful,
it is.
The concept is fascinating. It's an HDMI over Gigabit IP extender.
That IP part is the whole story here. We aren't just sending an electrical video signal down a longer wire. This thing takes the HDMI, feed your video, your audio, and it packetizes it.
So it turns my movie into data packets, like an email.
Exactly like an email.
Yeah.
And once it's data, we're not bound by the limits of HDMI cabling anymore.
We're suddenly playing by IT rules. We can use standard CT5E, CT6, the Ethernet cables everyone has lying around.
Cheap stuff, yeah. And because we're using that 1000 base T gigabit standard, the distance just jumps. You go from that 50-foot wall right up to 394 feet on CT6.
That's about 120 meters. That is a massive difference. You're covering a football field.
And then some.
But looking at the specs, the distance isn't even the most impressive part. Since we've turned the video into data, we can run this through network switches, right?
That is the real aha moment. You use what they call the cascading feature.
Okay.
You connect the transmitter to a network switch, run a cable to another switch, and you can keep going. You can daisy chain up to 3 of them.
So you're basically regenerating the signal at every stop.
You are. And that extends the total reach to over 1,500 feet. You could broadcast from one end of a huge warehouse to the other with just standard network gear.
That completely blurs the line between AV and IT. But let's talk about the installation. The worst part of mounting a TV is hiding the cables. You've got the signal and you've got the power.
And there's never an outlet exactly where you need one. It's always a headache.
So how does this help?
Well, this NTI unit solves that with PoE power over Ethernet.
Ah, the IE 802.3 AF standard.
Class 0, yes. If your network switch supports PoE, it pushes electricity down the exact same Ethernet cable that's carrying the video.
So one cable does everything.
One cable, you plug the NTI receiver into the network jack, and it just lights up. No power brick, no hunting for wall outlets.
That is a huge labor saver. It's so much cleaner. Now, we've been talking one-to-one, one source, one screen, but because it's a network...
They're not limited. This is where it's perfect for things like digital signage in an airport or a sports bar. It supports point-to-many.
How many is many?
If you have a managed switch with VLAN support, a single transmitter can broadcast to 253 receivers, all at the same time.
253 screens, all synced up, all powered by the network.
Wow. And it handles control signals too, right?
It does. It includes infrared extenders. So imagine the TV is in the lobby, but the cable box is in a server room 300 feet away.
Okay.
You just point your remote at the TV. The NTI unit grabs that IR signal, sends it back over the network to the transmitter, which then blasts it at the cable box.
That's seamless. Okay, but we have to look at the trade-offs. You don't get this kind of magic for $310 without, giving something up.
The limitations are real, and they're important. First up, resolution. This is a 1080p system. If you need 4K HDR for a high-end home theater, this is not the tool for you.
And since we're encoding and decoding packets, there must be some latency.
There is, about 80 milliseconds.
Which, for context, is completely invisible if you're watching a movie or a presentation. But if you tried to play a fast-paced video game on it...
I'd feel it. It would feel like lag. So it's about using the right tool for the right job. For distribution, it's incredible. For interactive gaming, you stick to a direct cable. It really feels like this device is a signal that the old way of doing things, with these heavy, dedicated video cables, is on its way out for big commercial spaces.
It is. I think we're moving toward a world where the walls of our buildings are just these active arteries of data. We're going to stop distinguishing between video traffic and internet traffic.
It's all just packets.
It's all just packets.
A world where every screen is just another data terminal. Something to think about the next time you plug into a network jack. Thanks for listening to this deep dive.